dalam BuzzPOP hari ini kita bakal membedah dan membincangkan episod pertama She-Hulk. Jadi para panelis kita malam ini terdiri daripada saya, Nadzru Iskandar daripada BuzzPOP TV, Feris, Othman, Yunus. What's up bro, how you doing man?
Oh, dapat tak hijau? Dapat hijau tak?
Tak nampak hijau lah bro. Asal baju kau koyak-koyak ni?
Tadi aku nak jadi Hulk sekejap, lepas tu aku transform balik untuk bedah ni. Ya. Bedah ni pun aku akan minum shaker aku.
Terbaik.
Kau tengah mabuk je.
Alright, seterusnya adalah kaki TV kita, Munif Malik. What's up bro, how you doing man?
Doing fine, thank you. Hope everyone's doing well too.
Nice. Dan seterusnya adalah daripada Marvel Fanbase Malaysia, Justin Chang. How you doing bro?
Hi guys, happy birthday Nick, and selamat malam semua. Selamat terjumpa. Apa khabar? Oh, She-Hulk smash! Yang smash!
Smash. Ya, agak pelik kita buat malam malam Isnin, tapi nak buat macam mana? Marvel dah gerakkan diorang punya siri She-Hulk jadi hari Khamis. So pasal aku cuti hari Jumaat, Sabtu, Ahad, so kita macam boleh dapat review hari Isnin. Macam itulah. That's how it'll be for the next 8 minggu lagi. So, jom kita mulakan perbincangan kita malam ini dengan reaksi satu ayat. Alright. So, reaksi satu ayat aku terhadap episod pertama She-Hulk adalah Captain America, fucks. Yeah.
Tak pasal-pasal.
Itu akan tak pasal-pasal. Apakah reaksi satu ayat anda terhadap She-Hulk episod 1? Kita mulakan dengan Munif. Silakan Munif.
Okay, macam mana aku nak kata, to me, macam bagi aku show ni agak it's a macam first time thing for me lah, pasal bukan nak kata dia 50-50 tau, tapi macam for me lah, ada benda yang aku suka, ada benda yang aku macam why you macam took that direction, tapi at the same time juga kita tahu macam ni baru episod 1 kan, maybe macam in the grand scale of things, macam benda-benda yang aku ada question mark tu will probably make sense. So kalau aku punya reaction tu is cautiously optimistic, tapi itulah, I feel this is one of those things yang macam kita tengok maybe a few episodes dulu lah baru betul-betul macam boleh bagi verdict kan. Tapi based on apa yang aku tengok strictly on episode 1, ada parts yang aku suka, tapi ada juga parts yang aku question mark, and those question marks tu aku assume akan di-answer dalam further episodes lah. Kalau tak, bagi aku dia akan jadi sedikit jaring lah. Ada beberapa benda which I'm sure kita akan discuss kemudian lah. So, still on the fence. In summary, aku macam still on the fence. Itulah, there were parts that I like lah, tapi but we'll see as the season progresses.
Cool. Seterusnya, silakan Justin. I think you're on mute, bro. Kau mute. Yeah. So,
Unmute. Okay. Okay, sorry. Tadi saya adjust sesuatu, so saya terpaksa mute. I feel like it's a very fun and refreshing take of a She-Hulk series. Mungkin dia macam lebih kepada, dia remind saya kepada cerita Ellie McBeal. Kalau you orang ada tengok cerita Ellie McBeal masa dulu-dulu kan, dia bersifat macam style lawyer comedy sikit. So because the series is more light-hearted, so macam mungkin dari segi superhero side dia tak nampak sangat lah. That's one of my concerns also. Macam apa Munif kata tadi lah, approach it cautiously optimistic lah. Kemungkinan besar mungkin episod 1 sebab ada Hulk, but what if like the next following episode mungkin macam, you know, it could have like less superhero stuff but more funny comedy stuff kan. Sebab but it's a good thing that at least Jennifer Walters break the fourth wall lah, so that's at least is comic book accurate lah. Dan at least then I mean like they updated so many things, but it's like they are given 30 minutes of every episode, so nasib baik ada 9 episod lah. Cuma macam just don't expect too much lah. Just go along for the ride lah. I would say my reaction would be like pretty good so far lah. Just don't expect too much.
Alright. Seterusnya untuk
semua, filem ini tak sesuai untuk
Suara apa tu?
seterusnya untuk Feris. Have you watched the original David Banner TV series from the 1980s?
Oh yes, I have watched the David Banner starring Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno, Pak Uncle kan, dua kan.
So how does it compare dengan siri ni? Silakan.
That one is more a journey of a lonely man now, daripada bandar ke bandar. Lepas tu at each bandar dia ada lah dia punya rintangan and everything. Do you want my reaction still? My reaction, congratulations Marvel on experimenting again, something new, just like you did with Eternals, but this one is different, comedy. So I foresee this as Marvel's first comedy series that they are trying, but they are playing safe with everything. Diorang nak jaga hati yang comic book fans and bukan comic book fans. On my first viewing, I tengok, okay, I'm impressed. Tapi bila I tengok second viewing about 1 hour ago, alah, so many things happen too easy, especially for Jennifer Waters, too convenient. Which I think we will discuss later lah. So they are playing safe. Marvel is playing safe, but I applaud what they're trying to do.
Cool. Alright, so kita ada beberapa komen menarik yang aku akan bacakan sekarang. Pertama daripada Taichu Division 5. Bilakah review House of the Dragon? Kita akan bincangkan tentang House of the Dragon setiap hari Selasa bermula dengan esok. So please no spoilers ya. Aku rasa beberapa panelis yang tak tonton lagi House of the Dragon. So ya, sama-sama kita bincang esok. Seterusnya Hadi Abdul Hamid memberi komen. Yes, episode 1 She-Hulk. Nah, bagi terus origin, tak payah nak tunggu sampai hujung-hujung. Macam ni lah ya abang. Nah, betul. Aku agak happy dan kita bincangkan ni dalam segmen-segmen kita yang seterusnya. Kemudian Shikamaru bertanya ya, Duan Wan tak jadi panelis ke untuk sesi bedah ni? Tak, bermula daripada hujung Ogos sampai bulan September dan Oktober nanti, kita akan ada 5 show setiap minggu. So aku kena divide and conquer. So Wan akan masuk untuk House of the Dragon dan Duan akan masuk kepada Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. So yes, semua tim BuzzPOP semua dah berpecah belah kerana kita kena cover setiap malam Isnin, Selasa, Rabu, Khamis. Ada saja show yang kita nak bincangkan, so tak boleh semua orang nak team up dalam satu sesi. Nanti tak habis, nanti jadi 5-6 jam nanti. Alright, kemudian Rizwan Mustafa bertanya, geng BuzzPOP Nick seorang je ke yang atau ada panelis lain yang dah tengok sampai episod 4? Hanya aku saja yang dapat preview screening.
Ya, kita.
Untunglah.
Kita tak boleh minta banyak-banyak. Kita
I know. Ada
satu lah kan. Baru 4.5 ke 4.7 ribu subscribers kecil je. So tapi I mean even reviewer yang besar-besar macam Zaf, macam Googler, dia orang pun hanya dapat satu je. Katalah, that is the way of the industry. Seterusnya Virgil bertanya, dalam komik macam mana dia jadi She-Hulk? Ni kita akan bincangkan dalam segmen kita yang kedua. So nantikan jawapannya nanti Virgil. Seterusnya Amar Ashraf bertanya, Min tak ada buat Facebook live ke? I think selepas mencuba selama setahun, aku rasa sejak Februari 2021 lagi, at the end of the day, sekadar Facebook live di-review oleh 1 hingga 5 orang tak worth it lah. So aku letak dekat monetize platform sahaja di YouTube. So going forward daripada malam ni, aku rasa semua kita punya live stream akan ada hanya di YouTube. Tapi serpihan-serpihan atau cebisan tu akan di-upload kepada TikTok, kepada Facebook untuk bring them back to the monetize platform, which is YouTube. Macam tu lah. Alright guys, so dengan itu
okay, tak apa.
Dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita bakal membincangkan 3 plot menarik daripada episod She-Hulk minggu ini. Alright, jadi segmen pertama kita adalah tentang Secret Origins Car Crash. Dan dalam segmen ni aku ada 3 soalan, satu untuk setiap panelis. Soalan pertama kau adalah untuk Feris ya. apakah pendapat anda tentang Jennifer Walters breaking the fourth wall in the first few minutes of the show serta terus memberitahu secret originsnya kepada penonton yang tidak arif? Silakan.
Okay, actually dia starting dengan tu I was very impressed, especially yang tak baca the She-Hulk comic, but I know She-Hulk tu exist. So for me it's good, and also from the standpoint of making the show, kan dia start dengan the close-up of Jennifer, tapi dia tak pandang straight camera tau. Dia pandang off camera dulu, lepas tu the camera pull back, baru nampak, you know. So that is Marvel setting a precedent. Dia nak set, nak bagi tahu semua orang, this show is going to be different. Lepas tu terus dia break fourth wall sebelum dia keluar pintu tu kan. Kan dia masuk balik dia office, lepas tu dia talk to the camera. Sebab like I said before to all you guys, Marvel is going to always continue to do something new to satisfy everybody. So this one, dia buat semua lawak tu. You know, it's going to be a comedy thing. I don't think there's going to be so much action, especially bila kau tengok trailer, Tim Roth as Abomination duduk dalam circle dengan She-Hulk macam therapy session. Lepas tu kau tengok dalam trailer, Kung Fu terbang macam Stephen Chow dalam Kung Fu Hustle. Lepas tu dalam episod 1 Tatiana, apa nama villain dia? Titania, dia burst through the wall. Macam tu, dengan human form. So it's going to be a silly comedy. That's what I think lah, you know. The secret origins, I cannot say much sebab aku tak baca komik dia. But from the get-go, dia nak bagi tahu that this is the backstory, and after this you will see something new each episode. Yeah.
Alright, cool. Pada panelis lain, apa pendapat korang tentang this breaking the fourth wall and how it's, you know, kita nampak yang kita tahulah, oh Deadpool yang buat dulu dalam MCU, but actually dalam komik she's been around since 1980s and she was the first to break the fourth wall. So is this like MCU claiming it first before Deadpool masuk MCU? Apa pendapat panelis secara pendek?
I don't think so, because fourth wall ada banyak jenis, you know. The most common one is of course pandang kamera, but fourth wall can be, for example, let's say Bruce Banner is reading a magazine and then say, oh, this Mark Ruffalo guy is very handsome. That's fourth wall juga, you know. So it starts seperti pandang kamera. So, I think other movies has done that before. Aku lupa, but there are many different kinds of fourth wall. But as far as to answer Dick punya question, I don't think it's to beat Deadpool ke apa, because it's part of MCU lah. Maybe it's
betul. Agree. Sebab macam dia pun macam dah basically dah on the same team kan. Deadpool pun dah join MCU. Lepas tu tak silap aku ada tak ingat, was it ada satu interview ke apa benda tu, dia bertanya the showrunners dengan pelakon ni Tatiana Maslany ni, dia bertanya dia pasal about breaking the fourth wall tu, macam ada nak cakap apa-apa dekat Ryan Reynolds ke apa tu, dia pun macam ada friendly banter lah. Kan ada kan video tu kan, dia cakap kat Ryan Reynolds, we did it first lah, benda lah. Lepas tu semua macam in good spirit sebab there's no, macam tak ada competition pun. Ryan Reynolds pun dah join MCU kan, so tak tahulah, maybe masa crossover punya movie nanti ke, the next Avengers movie ke apa kan, manalah tahu dia pun dua-dua might break the fourth wall at the same time lah tu, macam benda tu jadi jadi macam a joke, it's a shared punya trait ke apa, itu tak tahu macam dia could pull off something like that kan. Sebab yalah, whatever dia tak ada hostility lah, dia macam bukan macam gaduh tiba-tiba macam DC ada character break the fourth wall, so siapa dulu ke apa kan. So I think there's room for two lah fourth wall breakers in the MCU lah. In fact, bila dia orang share screen time ni could be fun, mana tahu.
Alright.
I pun support juga kata Munif tadi. I mean like especially kalau lebih-lebih lagi kalau kita masuk ke Avengers Secret Wars, kalau ada dua orang macam ni, mereka lawan villain sama-sama, tapi actually when they actually they can break the fourth wall, satu cakap dengan audience, satu lagi cakap dengan audience, mana tahu mereka dua-dua pun boleh bercakap dengan audience, dan the friendly banter that they have, like what you say kan, it could be a tease of possible things to come, you know. So like in the comics, they actually did try to break each other's fourth wall, kan kalau tak salah saya. So it's like they could do that in the MCU. So it's a positive sign to come lah. Orang kata it's a very promising thing lah, a promise and a nice nod to the fans lah. And those people who to the new fans who don't really know about this. This is something cool and new for everyone to find out lah. So orang kata definitely something to look forward to lah. It's a nice tease to the future.
Nice. Jadi soalan seterusnya adalah untuk Justin ya. Soalan kedua. Apakah pendapat anda tentang Secret Origins Jennifer Walters di dalam MCU yang agak berlainan daripada versi Marvel Comics-nya? Pasal dalam Marvel Comics, I think ada mafia tengah kejar dia, lepas tu tembak dia sampai dia macam ada accident kereta, and then cousin dia datang bagi blood transfusion kat hospital, and then the mafia come to the hospital, she turns into Hulk, and that's how she became She-Hulk. So apa pendapat kau tentang kelainan ini dalam versi MCU? Is it cleaner? Silakan.
I think the reason is because I read some interview with the showrunner, Jessica Gao, and she said that she did try to discuss with Feige and everyone, and then they found out that particular part, the mafia part, doesn't jive well with the tone of this series. You know, I think that's why they actually they said already to make this more of a comedy, feminist type of coming of age feminist type of a superhero TV series kan. Sebab itulah mereka tak nak sangat nak masukkan elemen mafia tu. Dah lah ada macam elemen, sebab because you involve Hulk kan, and Hulk punya storyline dah lah menyimpang jauh ke dah lepas si Thor Ragnarok, dan kemungkinan besar mungkin ada kesinambungan dengan World War Hulk kan, Planet Hulk lah, something like that lah kan. So most likely that's why we see the spaceship lah. Maybe that's why they feel like that particular part is a good jumping point to connect these two characters together. Sebab where these two characters at the moment is not the same as the one in the comics before. Sebab dalam Mafia mereka ada involve another character namanya Nicholas Trask. So like this character, he's like one of the low-level mafia criminals lah. But people like sometimes Spider-Man pun ataupun Daredevil pun ada terserempak dengan Nicholas Trask lah. So because She-Hulk punya father is a sheriff. And what happened is that Nicholas Trask nak bunuh mereka kan, tertempias pula kena dengan mak dia. So at the same time dia pun terkena bullet. So that's because Bruce Banner nak selamatkan cousin dia, terpaksa dia pergi hospital dan bagi dia punya blood transfusion. But that was like in between, semasa Bruce Banner, semasa dia di antara Bruce Banner dengan Hulk, dia belum lagi jadi smart Hulk kan at the time. So like I would say that because MCU punya storyline dengan komik pun punya storyline dah macam menyimpang jauh dah. The only thing they can do is that they try to find reference point, things that would seem similar but could go along together. So that's what we see from what we saw now lah. So I think that the first episode did a good job lah in that sense. Dah lah dia first episode dan dia cuma ada 30 minit. So I feel like they did a fine job in trying to adapt that particular storyline and then to modernize it for the modern audience. Especially especially with the people who don't really read comics, at least they can follow up lah. Because like siapa-siapa yang tak baca comics tu, at least sebab mereka punya mindset datang daripada movies. So because if you bring that element from the comics, you cannot adapt it 100%. Maybe certain elements can lah, but in this sense, I believe that they did a fine job lah in that sense, and I support the decision. Yeah.
What I noticed from episode 1, Marvel is trying to use a lot of the comedy tropes and style of writing. When you watch comedies ke sitcom on TV ke mana-mana sitcom apa, bila something get serious, pasti dia akan break dengan some lawak bodoh, you know. So that's what I noticed in episode 1, you know. So they're going to use, I think, similar style lah, especially dalam the lab underground, Bruce Banner punya underground lab kan. Bruce Banner cakap serius, tambah lawa. Cakap serius, tambah lawa. You know, so that's what I think She-Hulk is going to be lah for future episodes. Betul tak, Dik? I mean, di scene 2, 3, 4.
Ya, lebih kurang lah. Lebih
Lebih
kurang.
kurang. But that is also my problem, which we will say in the next
Okay.
section.
Menarik. Alright, so kan kita akan ke soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah untuk Munif ya. Apakah pendapat anda tentang kehadiran sakaran kelas A choreograph yang menyebabkan kereta Jennifer Walters terhempas in the first place? I mean, kalau kau tengok reka cipta dia, mirip bagaikan kapal angkasa Commodore, the Orgy Yacht yang dipunyai oleh Grandmaster. Adakah ini bermaksud bahawa Bruce Banner bakal ke planet Sakar serta ura-ura bahawa filem World War Hulk adalah benar? So, silakan Munif.
Okay, itulah boleh nampak that spaceship daripada Ragnarok dalam that scene tu kan. Of course tak terkejut lah orang semua akan buat that connection. Maybe mereka nak gunakan peluang ni untuk revisit the possibility untuk buat balik either Planet Hulk atau World War Hulk lah, betul lah. Tapi tak tahulah, bagi aku that is wishful thinking lah, sebab tak tahulah. I think everyone's favorite director Taika has kind of like ruined that possibility, blown it to smithereens. So aku macam aku tak tahu macam kalau dia pun nak start balik
Never
buat
say never, bro. Never say never, bro. Dia duduk situ 2 tahun ya. Dia jadi Hulk di planet Sakar selama 2 tahun. So never say never.
kan. So macam tak tahu kalau dia pun nak revisit the premise tu, at least on the first quarter of the movie tu dia akan jadi macam very redundant lah kan sebenarnya. So tak tahulah, aku tak nampak unless macam it's a retelling terus of the World War Hulk and Planet Hulk punya story tu. Tapi itulah this benda ni, the cameo of that ship tu could either play a part in that ataupun probably play a part in the finale pun, tak tahulah. Macam aku tak rasa they could have chose a random spaceship kalau just untuk cause accident tu kan. So kalau dia pun pilih specifically that ship, tak tahulah kalau if just a homage untuk Ragnarok ke, cameo ke apa ke. Tapi I'd be very, bukanlah very, tapi macam agak macam wasted opportunity lah kalau tak connect balik tu kan. Planet Hulk maybe tak tahulah. Tapi again macam cakap lah, you know, it's a TV series and we had the boner thing. Yang benda boner tu macam massive opportunity, tapi dia orang pun boleh buat macam tu kan. So never say never, betul, but we have also been proven the opposite pun has proven true juga banyak kali ya. So again, one of those things that as the story goes, kalau dia jadilah. Kalau tak aku boleh kata maybe it's, I'd be surprised if dia tak ada some follow up pasal that current ship lah. Pasal benda ni yang cakap, this is one of the things yang macam aku kata dia, aku 50-50 about this series. Tapi aku rasa as we progress, macam maybe things akan make more sense kan. Macam this is one of the things lah. Sebab kalau betul they introduce this ship pasal ada some follow up punya reason, then okay, benda tu boleh jadi interesting. Tapi if they just introduce this ship and then Hulk macam explain in a single line, macam you know when you're Hulk, this rando shit will just find you kan, macam alamak, that's a bit lazy writing to me lah, tak tahu lah kan. Tapi macam hopefully macam that's not the case, but even if it was the case, I won't be surprised or overly disappointed lah. Macam Feris cakap lah, sebab benda ni pun maybe the main point is to eksperimen kan, buat benda ni macam komedi lah apalah. So maybe on the grander scale of things tu, it's its own microcosm tau. So macam dia tak tengok sangat that leading up to something ke, connecting to something ke, benda ni dah pernah ada, dah established in the universe. So dia ada cameo sini, so just tu, it's all about this lawyer comedy female empowerment series thingy lah. It could be that juga. Tapi tu macam cakap lah, if it leads to nothing, I'm not disappointed. If it leads to something, then I will, as a fan of the comics and the MCU, will be very thankful for that lah, that there was thought in what they put lah, what they injected. Tapi nak sentuh sikit tadi soalan kau dekat Justin tadi pasal origins ni, just a little bit pasal that change kan. Aku rasa one of the reasons for that change juga is benda ni obvious lah, tapi saja nak cakap agak kan. Dia nak buat this time switcheroo lah, where Jennifer Walters is the one yang save Banner. Sebab dalam komik Banner yang rescue dia kan. So for the series well, to be fair, it is Jennifer Walters punya show lah. So this is a switch that I faham lah. I get why they deviated from the original. It's a change to the law, no doubt, but it's a change that made sense in the context of who the show is for lah. So itulah.
I have a question. Kalau World War Hulk and Planet Hulk, would it be a solo Hulk movie? Nick?
Well, World War Hulk is basically a big crossover where Banner gets pissed off for being sent to Sakaar in the first place, comes back to Earth, beat the shit out of everybody, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, semua kena lempang. Semua kena lempang, bro. So it will be a team up movie.
So kalau Planet Hulk, would it be considered a solo Hulk movie?
Yang tu boleh
Planet
jadi
Hulk is a solo Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Because that would cover the 2 years that he was on Sakaar.
Yeah. No, because then there's the Universal Pictures yang tak bagi solo Hulk movie tu. The rights dia still haven't.
Actually bukan Universal yang tak kasih. Disney yang kupik tak nak share duit.
Dia tak nak share duit.
Disney does not have the global distribution rights to the any Hulk movie. Itu je. Boleh je buat filem Hulk, you know. Dia tak nak share duit langsung.
That's why
dia power Hulk sebenarnya ni.
Kalau Disney kan, so what to do?
So dia dah bagi binder tu. Binder tu dah boleh jadi his solo Hulk punya movie dah.
Inilah hidup aku selama 15 tahun yang tak jadi filem, babi.
Tapi you never know. You never know.
Use shit lah, betul.
They could do a Black Widow tau. They could do a Black Widow movie kan. Macam dia tiba-tiba dia just prequel lah, tunjuk balik masa kat Sakaar tu apa jadi those 2 years kan. Tapi itulah, tapi personally for me, even though aku suka gila Planet Hulk, suka gila World War Hulk, tapi disclaimer, kalau setakat kau nak patah balik tu and then maybe put Taika at the helm lagi sebab ni related kan dia kan. Cakap baik tak payah.
Habis nanti.
Ironically, kalau if Taika tu was a woman kan, lah tu macam yang She-Hulk ni nak buat series lawak bodoh kan. Patut actually dia memang sesuai to helm this series. Barulah kau buat lah lawak sekali episode.
Tapi Taika lebih kepada lawak bro lah kan. Dia macam jenis yang college bro punya style lah. I think She-Hulk punya ni, I think she's more like, you know, a career woman trying to make it big in the world, in men's world, trying to like, you know, dating and stuff. So dia macam lebih kepada style itu aku rasa. So I feel like maybe we'll see more of that lah. Because in the trailer banyak tu death by snoo punya meme semua tu kan. So mungkin kita akan jumpa semua tu lah kan. And also kan Munib yang bahagian kamu tadi kan yang pasal Planet Hulk semua kan. Ada tease yang aku nampak ada kita punya salah satu kita audience nama dia Rizwan kan, dia cakap pasal Hulk ada anak kan dalam komik. So kemungkinan besar there's a possibility that son might come into the picture in the MCU. There are rumors of that. It's just that we don't know whether he might show up in the show or maybe a tease in the show and then possibly he might appear in other movies lah. So that seems like a movie level punya character kan. So anything's possible. So that those 2 years kan yang Planet Hulk punya storyline, the 2 years he's in Sakaar, he could have had a son that he didn't know. So like and also that was back in 2017. Dah lah kita punya timeline sekarang 2023 kan. So it's like kemungkinan besar, well we don't know how fast the alien age kan. So macam mana mungkin anak dia dah besar ataupun that particular ship came in just to tell him that you have a son kan. It's possible that's why the ship is there. Yeah. So it's like it's a huge hint lah pasal it's a huge hint.
Macam tapi anak kau mengamuk lah, anak kau mengamuk. Tolong datang ambil anak kau balik sekarang.
Tapi macam cakap lah, kalau aku aku just very cautious lah pasal ni. Kalau there's a possibility, betul, kau nak revisit balik Planet Hulk and then subsequently World War Hulk, just janganlah bagi Taika dah sentuh those things. Bagilah orang yang maybe macam
Aku rasa kemungkinan besar tak kot, sebab dia tengok pasal performance box office. Kalau box office tak cantik, mungkin studios will be cautious lah. So don't worry lah. Aku rasa Disney pun dah takut dah.
Yeah, I feel like I had enough of the guy lah. So hopefully Love and Thunder was the
Taika's
last
humor
we
is
see
not
of
for
him.
everyone. Not for everyone.
Here's the thing.
Seriously.
Kalau betul, since we're talking about Planet Hulk, kau betul nak buat Planet Hulk, kau betul nak buat World War Hulk, they cannot be the clowning of characters selang 3 saat. Definitely not. If I see his name attached to the movie, I'm just not gonna watch it. Senang cerita.
Betul lah, MCU kadang-kadang tak take itself seriously, kan? It becomes a joke of itself. So,
No, there's a time and
really
place.
terrible lah.
There is a time and place. Macam for She-Hulk ni buat siri jadi very fun comedy tu, you don't hear me complaining. Macam okay lah, macam fits the tone of apa yang dia pun nak buat apa semua kan.
Yeah.
Tapi itulah macam, it's like the god butchering your fellow gods, Ragnarok, planet kau.
Dah habis, yang tu dah habis bang. Yang tu dah habis.
Benda tu betul.
Nampak sangat you teguris dengan cerita tu.
Nanti tu that becomes another thing. Cukup.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
That's
Tak apa,
another thing.
nanti kau dapat tengok 8 September nanti di Disney Plus.
Okay.
By the way, untuk mereka yang agak
Sorry. Tak, Bude was mentioning about directors tadi. I want Matthew Vaughn dalam MCU. Tolonglah.
Oh,
hopefully.
agreed.
So Louis Leterrier that did the original
Agreed.
Incredible Hulk will be nice.
Matthew Vaughn.
Agreed. Dia kena ada satu sequence tu.
Yeah.
Whatever lah, janji dia kerja untuk kita, tapi tak Kevin Feige tak nak ayah. Itulah.
Yeah. Alright guys, so untuk mereka yang tidak arif, komik She-Hulk memang tona dia agak komedik Memang, so basically what you get in the TV series is what the comic books is like. Dia bukan macam superhero lain, pasal dia still bekerja sebagai seorang lawyer walaupun dia ada kuasa. So kita ada 7 komen menarik. Pertama, just one bertanya, dalam komik memang Jennifer Walters tak ada alter ego ke? Tak, dia memang literally Jennifer Walters. Dia pergi dekat court pun dia jadi The Hulk ataupun She-Hulk. So memang dia tak ada nak pakai mask ke apa macam The Devil ke, tak ada. She is who she is, true and true. So kau nampak dalam episod ni yang dia tak nak menerima the responsibility of being a superhero right up to something yang kita akan explain dalam segmen ketiga nanti. Seterusnya, apakah pendapat panelis tentang portrayal of MCU Hulk? More comedic Hulk than angry and mad Hulk? Patutkah MCU perlu recharge it just like the comics? Well, if they do end up doing World War Hulk, I think we will get the angry and mad Hulk yang semua orang dah minta. Aku rasa dekat sedekat dah.
Kan?
So, don't worry.
Tantang at the end of this series pun, you never know.
Yeah.
At the end, kau lupa aku dah tengok 4 episod bro. So
Dia berapa episod semua sekali?
it's
9.
Ada 9.
9.
Ada 5 lagi kau tak tengok tu.
I look forward to discussing this dalam beberapa minggu hadapan. Right.
Sebab kau tanya tadi pasal yang Bill Bixby punya Hulk kan. Bill Bixby punya Hulk was angry Hulk. Lepas tu dia menyesal apa yang dia dah buat. Dia calm down tu je. I don't know what kind of Hulk do you consider that?
I think that is a repentant Hulk. Kan setiap kali dia cakap you don't like me when I'm angry. So dia macam dia nak warn orang, tolong jangan buat aku jadi Hulk. Lepas tu dia jadi Hulk.
Okay.
Lepas tu dia terpaksa pergi kampung lain atau bandar lain every single week, sedih sia cerita tu.
Dengan backpack dia kan belakang.
Yeah, and then lagu tu nama dia The Lonely Man tau. Teng neng neng.
The Lonely Man.
Kan?
Sial The Lonely Man. Alright, seterusnya Nameless bertanya, watak The Watcher dalam What If tu, adakah itu kira breaking the fourth wall? Yes. Bila dia cakap directly kepada kita, that is breaking the fourth wall. Breaking the fourth wall ni sebenarnya adalah satu terma daripada dunia teater. Bila pelakon-pelakon atas teater tu stop, tengok dekat penonton and then literally cakap dekat penonton tanpa menjadi watak dia. So it's something yang sejak zaman Shakespeare dululah, beratus-ratus tahun dulu.
Dalam filem Jerry Lewis selalu buat. Dia bila dia buat Nanti Profesor dulu, dia kemas jadi pasal dia pandang. Oh ya. Betul. Oh dia lawak.
Ya, ataupun kalau kau tengok The Office US, I think one of the guys suka
itu
gila
banyak
break the fourth wall.
Nek. Aku punya favorite instance Sustain cakap pasal ni kan, aku nak tambah agak. Aku punya favorite instance of breaking the fourth wall datang bila tau. Kalau kau tengok ada episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air kan. Yang kau tu bukan dia satu yang kau tahu kawan Will Smith tu kan, yang stoner tu apa nama tu, yang DJ tu,
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff. Dia kan selalu datang rumah dia kan. So ada satu season dia datang kan, yang dia punya aunty tu ada dia tukar dia punya aunty. Lepas tu dia cakap kenapa aunty kau nampak lain ni? Kata sama je lah. Mana ada tak nampak lain. Benar kau mengarut. Sama lah tu dia cakap sama sampai DJ Jazzy Jazz tu macam sama macam okay fine, maybe aku yang ni dia belah kan. Lepas tu Will Smith pandang kamera.
Betul tukar pelakon kan.
Sebab dia apparently she was at that time macam dia macam ada clash with Will Smith apa semua on set semua tu. So pasal dia memang ada beef dengan especially dengan Will Smith masa tu. Sebab dia when they joined the cast, I think she was the one with I think the most acting credits ke, yang paling ni lah. Will Smith just some guy macam rapper tiba-tiba ni tukar jadi star of the show. Lepas tu dia macam dia argue macam kau tak perjuangkan for dia pun punya pay, maybe dia punya pay lebih benda semua. So dia pun macam memang toxic lah gaduh-gaduh on set. So tu yang kelakar masa dia pun tukar berlakon. Sebab kita tahu dia anti tu memang gaduh dengan Will Smith tau. So Will Smith yang pandang TV kan. Tak sama anti ni, kenapa cakap lain. Lepas tu
Gila meta.
Ada sekali yang lagi meta pula tu, yang si brother dia Carlton ya. Carlton tu ada dia ada part macam okay, Will Smith and this girl macam trick him into thinking macam he killed one of this macam perempuan ke benda So Carlton tu tengah freak out kan. Dia lari daripada set kat cabin ni, dia lari sampai ke university, dia lari sampai ke rumah, dia travel between sets. So lepas tu dia lari ke tempat penonton. Sekali kamera tengok ikut. Itu memang epic.
Itu dah memang break reality dia tu. Ya, man. Alright, seterusnya kategori bertanya ya. Pendapat panelis, adakah She-Hulk tak akan jadi Savage She-Hulk yang bertukar sampai baju terkoyak? Well, aku baru tengok 4 episod, so I don't know what to say.
Remains to be seen lah. To be seen.
Maybe kalau bukan dalam siri ni pun, maybe bila dia Avengers 5 ke, The Kang Dynasty, takkan kau perlukan lawyer nak lawan Kang, kau perlukan Savage She-Hulk kan nak lawan Kang. So maybe in MCU Phase 5 lah, maybe, atau Phase 6. Alright, seterusnya Shikamaru bertanya, manakah lebih dramatik bagi panelis, origin komik atau dalam siri? Well, origin komik lagi dramatik, but I kinda like the MCU one. Pendapat panelis, silakan.
Kalau since soalan ni dramatik memanglah komik lah, sampai masuk mencemaskan tu gangster tu nak threaten nak bunuh dia sampai dia dalam hospital pun nak try bunuh dia lagi sekali lah, dah kena tembak lah apa semua. Lepas tu tak ada supply kat hospital, Bruce terpaksa reluctantly tapi kena beri darah dia. So dari segi dramatism tu memang komik lagi dramatik lah. Tapi aku agree kan Nick, I do not dislike cara dia buat dalam series ni. Sebab itulah, at least dia tak buang masa tau. Kita dapat macam okay macam make sense, this sequence of events jadi macam ni macam, and then bagus cepat-cepat lah kau jadi She-Hulk, kita tengok kau She-Hulk buat benda kan. So the origin in the TV series ni dia cepat but it works and it's kind of like tied up nicely lah bagi aku. Tapi kau nak cakap dramatik, memang komik dramatik kan, tapi lagi itulah dia lagi panjang cerita and create this tonal punya problem. So, kau nak buat light-hearted comedy lah tu ada gangster duk tembak orang. So tak tahu macam nak jadi komedi lepas tu kan kalau first episode tu kan. So I agree. I'm okay dengan the changes yang dia buat for the series. Tapi kalau cakap dramatik memang menang yang komik lagi lah.
Okay. Seterusnya Muhammad Azim bertanya ya. Soalan untuk para panelis, siapakah nama penjahat yang menyerang mahkamah? Nama dia Titania ataupun Titania, dan kita bakal bincangkan dia dalam segmen ketiga. Adakah DODC akan muncul dalam siri Shihab? Yes, episod kedua nanti. Nantikan DODC.
Oh, siapa dia? Siapa DODC?
Mereka lagi.
Department of Defense tu kan? Department of
Oh,
Ya,
Damage
daripada
control.
Miss Marvel dengan Spider-Man apa tu? No Way Home.
Damage control.
Ya, Department of
Damage
Damage
Control ya, Department of Damage Control ya.
Kita akan jumpa dalam episod 2, 3 dan maybe 4. Aku rasa 2 dan 3 is mainly DODC.
Thank you for the 0.5%.
Lah, berkacau je lah.
Dia dah ada dalam trailer ya. Sorry ya. Kalau aku spoil macam mana pun dah ada dalam trailer.
Tak. Cuma aku rasa dia punya karakter very annoying.
Seterusnya Tengkuar bertanya, betul ke tahun depan Marvel akan dapat kembali rights untuk The Hulk? Okay, menurut thedirect.com, as the film The Incredible Hulk only hit theaters in June 2008, the 15-year period indicates that Disney will regain distribution rights to the character by June 2023.
Itu dia.
At which point, Marvel Studios will be able to begin production on a Hulk movie that Disney themselves would distribute. So, masalahnya korang kena ingat ya, thedirect.com ni kadang-kadang dia laman palatau juga. So, kalau sumber dia tu ialah sumber palatau, maybe tak betul. Tapi maybe ada harapan lah. Kita cuba tanya Feris, is that right lah? 15 years on kalau kau tak buat filem, I thought it's every 5 years kalau kau tak buat filem.
It depends on what the studio agreement lah. It can be 2 years.
The contract kan. Depends on the contract.
I give an answer for that because I never studied the contract, so aku tak tahu. There is no set time as to like 10 or 15 years then boleh buat movie, tak ada. Except the one that the the Fox and Marvel sign lah, yang every certain year movie kena keluar kata dia tarik balik right. Yang the Universal kau tak tahu.
Okay. I just saw the contract. So basically the direct.com punya sumber ni adalah daripada Reddit. Jadi menurut sumber tu UV Video Ardes mengatakan bahawa an SEC filing from 2006 notes Universal Studios agreement to distribute The Incredible Hulk under the same terms as a similar deal with Paramount. Universal Studios has agreed to distribute Marvel's film The Incredible Hulk and sequels on essentially the same terms as those on which Paramount has agreed to distribute other films, financed and produced under the film facility. Dalam nombor 6, dia mengatakan distribution term. Paramount shall have the right to exercise its Paramount distribution rights with respect to each picture for an initial period of 15 years, commencing on the initial theatrical exhibition of such picture. So, dah 15 tahun depan. So, nampaknya gonna come back daripada Universal akan kembali ya. Yeah. So, nampaknya World War Hulk maybe MCU Phase 6. Tapi dalam Phase 6 ada banyak lagi filem. Dalam banyak lagi filem tak filled up dalam Phase 6. So, never say never.
Betul?
Yeah.
Betul.
But jangan lupa ya, sumber dia adalah Reddit. So, Reddit pun palatau juga. So, kita tak sure.
Faham lah Reddit.
Take it with a grain of salt lah kata.
Seterusnya Ismail bertanya, Jennifer Walters ni memang lawyer ke dalam komik? Yes, sejak watak ni mula muncul di Marvel Comics pada tahun 1980, 42 tahun dahulu, memang Jennifer Walters ni adalah seorang attorney ataupun seorang lawyer sampai sekarang. Seterusnya Jaswan bertanya, case court dekat She-Hulk ni ada kaitan tak dengan PBB dalam Civil War ataupun Defense Superhuman Law Division? Penulis Jessica Gao dah cakap dia tak tahu sangat benda-benda law ni. So the law will play a small role dalam siri ni. Maybe like every episode setengah je of the series is about law, pasal Jessica Gao tak pandai nak tulis-tulis macam law and order. So unfortunately kalau kita ada penulis lain yang lebih pandai, it could be about that, but I don't think so. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke segmen menarik kita yang kedua. Alright, so segmen menarik kita yang kedua adalah tentang bootcamp ataupun Hulk School. Dalam segmen ni aku ada 3 soalan untuk semua panelis. Soalan pertama untuk Munif, tapi sebelum aku tanya soalan kepada Munif, jom kita tonton klip ni kejap.
Here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Wow. #feminis. Alright, so soalan pertama aku untuk Munif ya. Apakah pendapat anda tentang Jennifer Walters mempunyai control over her Hulk side, unlike her cousin Bruce Banner yang ada abusive childhood dan juga suffering from DID, because Jennifer Walters is a woman that suffers from microaggression daripada lelaki on a daily basis. Apakah pendapat anda tentang this woman's insight into what it is like to exist? Kita senang bro, kita tak hadapi masalah ni. Tak ada orang nak tedek kita hari-hari. So silakan.
Okay lah, baca like I said lah, sebab kita kena tahu juga at the end of the day, the main target of this series ni untuk siapa. So macam cakap lah, dia actually in a way it's kind of a chick flick juga to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Sebab kita tahu macam MCU ni is macam very male dominated, male oriented, and then kebanyakan the movie tu memang cater for the young male punya audience kan. So in the name of experimenting juga, cuba this time macam tu cakap, aku rasa this time it is not mainly for the boys. Of course like men boleh enjoy the series with an open mind lah kan, unless you're very like highly insecure person ke apa lah, tu macam geram tengok benda-benda ni, then yang tu tak boleh buat apa lah kan. Tapi macam kata lah, if the target users or your target is memang that demographic, so aku faham why macam Jennifer Walters explain lah kenapa dia boleh control dia punya Hulk rage better tu, is because they go through benda-benda microaggressions yang you know apparently men tak pernah kena lah kan. Tapi kenapa aku as a man watching this and as a comic fan macam watching this have no problem dengan this so-called explanation, pasal bagi aku kau nak faham benda yang Jennifer cakap tu is not the law tau. Sebab to a certain extent Bruce dengan Jennifer dua-dua pun macam banyak benda pasal the Hulkification ni, so to speak, mereka pun macam tak berapa faham. So mereka pun tengah duk rationalize on their own, kenapa, why is it kau boleh control, why is it kau tak boleh control lah. So walaupun Jennifer cakap macam tu, and to their target which is this chick flick is aim for, akan obviously suka dan accept the explanation. Maybe untuk aku yang more to comic book fan pun bukanlah kata tak suka the explanation, but I like the fact that dia sebenarnya ada room untuk other interpretations jugalah. Sebab tu, kau boleh kata itu opinion Jennifer Walters, tapi kalau kita tengok dia punya origins, to me aku rasa why dia boleh manage dia punya rage tu better, maybe pasal dua faktor lah. Number satu, macam aku cakap lah, Banner, okay, kalau dia cakap saya different upbringing, so dia go through her microaggressions semua. Macam Banner tu actually gone through even worse childhood sebenarnya. So to a certain extent, kalau dia cakap it makes sense lah kenapa Banner ada this alter ego and dia lagi susah nak control lah apa semua, because by nurture he has been fucked with in the head many times lah. Lepas tu kalau kau baca in the comics pun kau tahu Banner ni pun bukanlah stable sangat. Banyak benda yang dia buat tu kadang-kadang borders on the psychotic juga. So even as a comic book fan watching this series, I tengok okay, Jennifer rasa pasal they go through this and that, so satu dia boleh control better. Tapi as a comic book fan tengok, but I also know, and Jennifer tak tahu, yang yalah Banner goes through shit tau. So sebab tu kita faham dia macam bukan, dia tak merendahkan dia pasal dia tak boleh control sangat initially dia punya transformation into Hulk lah. It doesn't take away from that lah. Lepas tu at the same time kalau cakap in the science, dari sudut science lah so to speak dalam Marvel universe pula, you could also say macam Banner exposed directly to the gamma radiation kan. Lepas tu Jennifer pula dapat, you boleh kata Jennifer dapat residue lah from that sebab dia was transfused with a gamma radiation infected blood. Dia sendiri was not directly blast by a gamma explosion kan. So benda tu pun boleh explain kenapa dia tak ada alter ego dan boleh control dia punya Hulk persona better so to speak. Tapi again another reason why aku boleh accept this explanation juga is this is the reason juga why there shouldn't be a debate siapa lagi kuat lah between Hulk and She-Hulk, because it's obviously Hulk sebab dia dapat all the rage, all the power, all the madness. So for that, because they lack that control, raw power wise dia memang is like a lot stronger than She-Hulk sebenarnya, tapi She-Hulk has the control. So aku tak tahu cara dia buat this origins and cara dia boleh control transformation tu doesn't bother me lah. Aku cakap saya ni sebab aku tengok je macam ada content creators yang banyak pun debate pasal ni who stronger, ni forcefully buat dia macam ni nak inject this feminist issues lah benda. So bagi aku tu lah, bagi aku in this day and age, if you have to ada this kind of messages and benda ni memang a chick flick pun dia akan ada these messages, all things considered, aku rasa the showrunners did it well. Sebab the chick flicks pun crowd akan enjoy this explanation, tapi the comic book fans and the male audience pun also know that okay, selain pada tu ada juga other explanation kenapa, acceptable explanation kenapa dia boleh control dia punya transformation better lah. So aku rasa I tak tahu whether it's good writing ke kebetulan ke apa ke, but I am okay with this direction yang dia orang ambil lah, no problems lah.
Alright. Feris, silakan.
Just to add what Munif said, as someone who knows about She-Hulk but never read the comic, Marvel has to think about the kids as well, because kids are watching it as well, So when you have Hulk, a guy, you have a set of characters, and She-Hulk, a different set of characters. Dia kena bagi everything opposite kelainan, because both of them will carry the same name, but they are different people. So just imagine a kid watching on Disney Plus. Oh, Hulk. Oh, She-Hulk. Okay. Oh, dia mesti kuat macam Hulk. Oh, lain rupanya. So just make a clear difference. Not only just for the adult, for the kids as well.
That kind of makes sense. Although I don't know lah parents yang bagi anak-anak dia tengok She-Hulk the next few episodes memang tak patut tengok. Let's just say She-Hulk on Tinder She-Hulk on Tinder. Episode tu korang jangan bagi anak-anak korang tengok, okay? So
dalam trailer.
Tak boleh kasih budak tengok
ada satu makna baru untuk Hulk Smash. Ia mendapat satu makna baru.
I'm on internet.
Well, she's known to be promiscuous in the comics, what?
Yeah,
Dia macam
totally.
Yeah, when we get
she's
that one, we'll check it. Alright, soalan kedua adalah untuk Justin ya. Apakah pendapat anda tentang teknologi gamma suppressor yang digunakan oleh Bruce Banner untuk menukarkan diri dia kembali menjadi manusia dan bukannya smart Hulk? I mean, banyak orang masa mustahil tengok trailer, is this during the blip, the 5 years during the blip? Tapi the answer is simple, he has the gamma suppressor. Done. So is this secretly alasan untuk save the budget for this series pasal tak payah guna CGI? So silakan.
That's a very good question, because I also suspect that, and also like maybe they want to connect this She-Hulk series with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi punya post credit scene kan, masa tu dia dah macam tertukar jadi manusia kan, dan dia ada dia punya arm sling. So kemungkinan masa tu dia dah ada tu gamma suppressor dah. So like he did mention that he went back to his lab, the lab in Mexico, untuk buat tu gamma suppressor. So maybe he's trying to find a cure to cure his hand, That's why he's trying to turn back. Maybe when he was wearing the gamma suppressor, at the same time dia tertukar jadi manusia lah. But also if you think about practicality from the shows, in the behind the scenes of the show, it makes sense also lah that save budget kan, sebab semua CGI benda ni it takes a lot of time to make, and it needs a lot of money to make also. Sudah lah MCU dah infamous torture dia punya VFX artist lah semua tu kan. So it's like it's more like I would say a mea culpa lah to the people who are behind the scenes of that. So like you know it's a bit of this and a bit of that lah. So the logically speaking kan semua reasons ada kat sana. It's very obvious lah. So like but we can tell that the She-Hulk series is set somewhere around after Shang-Chi lah, or maybe around the same time of Shang-Chi lah. Aku rasa sebab Wong pun akan masuk ke dalam cerita ni kan.
If you see this episode is a few years after Endgame.
A few years after Endgame kan. So maybe Shang-Chi is after Endgame?
Yes, kalau kita check let's have a look. Shang-Chi is after Endgame.
After Endgame lah. Set dia pun reference the blip tu. Ada.
Ya. Kalau kau tengok
so this is 2023 lah aku kata kan. I think it's the timeline of 2023.
So kita ada Endgame, lepas Endgame kau ada Loki, ada What If, ada banyak show lah, but yes, definitely She-Hulk ni selepas Endgame, and maybe Baba Accident ni is around selepas Endgame juga.
Possible. So apa dia? So I just feel like maybe this is some point of reference that we need to bookmark lah. Benda-benda macam gini kan. Maybe it will come to play in the future. We just have to remind ourselves that this happened, and then all this could connect at some point lah. If the writers remember lah. Tak nak jadi kita pula yang nak remind writers kan, so in this case. So kadang-kadang these things, sometimes the fans they know more than the writers, because kita fans yang cari connection, nak cari semua dia punya jalan cerita, mana yang datang dulu, mana yang datang lepas. Kadang-kadang sebab the writers are different people, different group of people, different people who are handling different shows or TV series. Kadang-kadang mereka tak follow up, so sometimes ada termiss up lah. So I don't know, it's our job to actually remind them, but sometimes I hope that they don't goof up too much lah. It's very obvious, but because this is human error kan, so cannot expect much lah. But I think what they did with Bruce Banner was a bit of a comic relief, but at the same time it tries to inform us where his character is lah at the moment. Dia pun ada reference about Tony, about Natasha dengan Steve kan. So like he does miss his friends a lot. So masa dia bercakap pasal kawan-kawan dia semua kan, agak sedih jugalah, because we all miss the original Avengers. Sebab that's how he's trying to tell Jennifer lah that maybe he'll open her mind to become an Avenger soon. Maybe she will be an Avenger in the future Avenger movies. Maybe she'll meet someone that she suitable for her in the future. dropping hints.
Just if I want to add something about that dampener tu, pasal macam cakap lah, again, this is one of the plot points yang buatkan aku macam that 50-50 tapi it could lead to something and then it wouldn't be a 50-50. Dia pasal macam Jesse cakap lah, there's a big possibility it's a cop out lah pasal the VFX artist apa just nak get Mark Ruffalo back into macam human form kan. Betul, that could totally be it. Tapi macam cakap, kalau aku macam another thing that feels like wasted if that's all the device punya function now kan. So
well, what to do? Also, Mark Ruffalo kena he has to sell his face kan. He's an actor kan. He's getting paid for his face pak. Kalau nak CGI macam dia kurang pula dapat.
But that's the thing. Aku rasa macam it's not a problem macam dia jadi human ke, dia jadi apa ke. Tapi to me, kalau you create this whole like gizmo just untuk keep him in human form, macam Faham tak? It's a device that doesn't do anything for the narrative, right?
Yeah.
So aku punya hope lah again. Kenapa aku cakap ni one of aku punya 50-50 things is that it could be cop up and I would not like it. Fine. Tapi just in case lah, speculation lah. Manalah tahu kalau device tu, my optimistic heart ni cakap aku ada feeling it'll probably play a part in the finale lah kot. And maybe if they go macam if kalau device tu dampener tu memang ada importance, boleh jadi the season finale punya opponent tu is also macam a fellow Hulk ke, tak tahulah, maybe Bruce yang dah relapse yang jadi psycho ke, maybe Jennifer herself yang tiba-tiba lose control jadi Savage Hulk ke, or maybe who knows, Red Hulk, Red She-Hulk, or even Abomination pun tak tahu kan. So, like dampener tu will be used on someone to resolve a conflict.
Possible.
Aku rasa that macam that would be, again lah, ni aku punya wishful thinking lah kan. So kalau dia jadi macam tu, I'll be very thankful for the series that the device was just not a cop out. Tapi kalau betul, if that all that is to the device, kalau device tu memang yalah, just disebabkan nak bagi Mark Ruffalo ni tak jadi CGI penat-penat macam you know what, macam wasted, but it's not like, you know what, tak terkejut lah.
Tapi
Mungkin juga. I also agree with what you said, Munif. Like they, if hopefully the writers are smart enough to use that device for the finale lah kan. So who knows? We have 9 episodes kan. There's possibility for that. But they're introducing so many characters.
Okay.
Kalau tak pun macam, you know, nothing much to think of. I think not many people would catch up on that also. Macam orang ingat macam biasa je that. But some people who are overthinking possibly, like I was thinking this could be the plot point, this could be a plot point.
Kan? Padahal dia macam kejap lah, just a throwaway device lah. Tu cara tak sebut.
Yeah, it could also be lah kan.
I like Muni's idea lah. Muni's idea makes a lot of sense because, you know, baru ada arc, you know, baru ada payoff.
Yeah.
But you don't know lah, you know.
We don't know if the writers are smart enough to do that. Smart.
Well, we can have Feris Malay write the season finale, you know.
Spot.
By the way, Munif, dalam komik, the gamma suppressor is used for on which character?
Tak, dia aku sebenarnya tak ingat tau kalau ada benda tu digunakan kepada siapa-siapa. Tapi just since they created the thing kan, benda tu ada kan. So might as well kau gunakan dia for something. I don't know. Tapi aku tak ingat kalau ada any characters yang kena dampener. Ada lah, tapi macam not specifically that macam bracer punya device tu kan. So saya tak tahu, but they introduce the thing. So aku macam kelakar juga kalau dia just macam like a one-off thing kan. But again, I won't be overly disappointed lah kalau it leads to nothing pun. Just a thought.
Alright, soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah untuk Feris ya. Apakah pendapat anda tentang darah Jennifer Walters ataupun She-Hulk yang telah berjaya mengubati tangan Smart Hulk kembali? After all, kita dah tengok in past MCU films bahawa darah Banner Hulk telah berjaya mencipta the Abomination, the Leader. Is that why Banner lasered away the blood? So silakan Feris. Kau tak mute tapi tak dengar. Pelik. Dengar sikit. Dengar sikit. Maksudnya silakan.
Dengar sikit Well, this just proves that, you know, women are the better gender than men. Always, you know, woman is always right. You are better than us. Her blood is going to cure everything. You know? But I don't know. I mean, like I said before, it just goes to show that they want to differentiate the character lah. Ada satu gempak, ada tak gempak. How is gempak on certain other things, and see how is tak gempak on certain other things. So it's just, you know, going on opposite ends of the spectrum. That's all, you know. But I would like to point out about, since you're talking about the Darah Hulk, they were talking all about in the land. remember tak yang Bruce Banner was explaining that somehow you and me as family, we have this some kind of blood can accept this gamma ray. It's too convenient, everything. All the scientific.
We can synthesize gamma radiation. That's what he said.
So I mean, when I was the second time, I said, macam tu senang aja, And then Jennifer Walters was okay. So now what do I do? I'm the house. So nampak sangat it's going to be a comedy, Just try to and whatever it is, you just put there for fuck's sake. Okay, I'm out. What's next? What is it? I'm like, oh god. First time I watched, I was okay. Oh, I'm impressed. Oh, patutlah darah kurang terror. Buat second time. So like I said, it's a play safe thing. It's a play safe. They are playing safe, and try to be a comedy.
Well, at least it's not as crap as nenek saya daripada Pakistan dulu, dia ada.
Balik kepada sana.
At least tak seteruk tu lah.
The clandestine.
Oh my god, clandestine.
Kenapa aku decide sikit? Because I think this Marvel was meant for bawah 15 tahun, not above 15 tahun. Okay, target market
For sure lah.
Target market dia untuk budak-budak Nickelodeon.
Target Marvel experiment. Let's do it for the young kids. Fuck it out.
It definitely didn't think that through.
Kita ada 8 komen menarik. Pertama daripada Lucy Ons yang bertanya, soalan menyimpang Billie Eilish sesuai tak dicast sebagai karakter Rogue? Apakah pendapat? Aku rasa Billie Eilish.
Wow. That's so out of the box.
No, I disagree.
Tapi maybe
I think there's a white thing over her black hair, just like Rogue. The woman.
aku pun jadi Rogue ni.
Dalam foto macam a cop,
Tapi maybe lah kan. A better role would be a better cameo role could be Dazzler tau.
Ooh.
I support.
Betul lah.
But I think Lady Gaga should have been Dazzler lah. She would have killed the role lah. Lady Gaga jadi Dazzler.
Kan memang flashy habis kan. Dia jadi Dazzler okey lah. Actually kalau dia nak jadi, kalau bila dia nak jadi Rogue, tak tahulah, macam she needs that southern accent tu satu. She needs
maybe
to
the
hit
emo type, emo goth type.
Lah tu ni bukan pasal nak komen body orang apa benda, but if you want to play the role, she needs to hit the gym like hell, man. Tapi tengok Rogue tu macam mana kan. So tapi Dazzler cameo.
I just saw Billie Eilish.
Marah.
Ni agak tak suka.
Because kan Rogue ada yang the putih, rambut putih lepas tu over the black kan. Billie Eilish pun ada.
Kan.
So
I miss to say, hey sugar. She has to have that hey sugar punya southern accent, the southern twang tu kena ada.
And then also bila aku tengok gambar Billie Eilish dalam magazine ke online ke apa, dia ambil photoshoot ke apa, muka dia macam mayat tau.
But she came to Malaysia that day.
Let's not talk about the bullshit concert.
One thing I can guarantee
Teruk kan?
Marvel will end up choosing an up and coming actress who played a supporting actor in a TV series somewhere, to put a movie. Marvel has this tendency to do that,
Yes, most likely. Alright,
Dazzler.
Selanjutnya adalah daripada sembang filem kira-kiranya adakah DODC ni agensi penting untuk ancaman di bumi dan SWORD untuk ancaman di space? It looks like it. Kita dah nampak dalam Miss Marvel, dia orang macam terlebih terror. And then sekarang diorang dah ada macam penjara yang next level. And then dalam episod kedua dan ketiga nanti kau akan tengok lagi banyak DODC and berapa maju yang diorang sekarang. So potentially jawapan dia adalah potentially. Tak sure.
Start and Homecoming kan, yang Michael Keaton dia tumbuk the police kita, tapi betul.
Time tu
Setelah
depa
kena-
just clean up crew kan at that time masa
masa tu
kita.
diorang
Yeah.
masih clean up crew pasal
Depa
that was
clean up
Avengers
crew.
2012. Yeah.
Betul. Lepas tu depa
Dia
clean
kira-
up crew, lepas tu with all the Chitori tech tu semua depa repurpose untuk jadikan depa punya weaponry and gadget tu dia jadi makin lama makin
I think that was in Far From Home bila they took
Yeah,
away all the technology. Yeah. So
Mhm.
sekarang dah ada teknologi start, diorang jadi naik minyak.
lagi lah.
Terlebih, Alright, seterusnya
Lagilah sombong.
soalan Ikhwan Mat adakah BuzzPOP akan cover House of the Dragon? Jawapannya tidak.
Uish.
Kita tidak akan buat live stream esok. So ini salah guys. So don't worry. House of the Dragon season 1 episode 1 akan di-cover setiap hari Selasa. Seperti Shihab akan di-cover setiap hari Isnin. And then mula hari Khamis September 3 ke September, I can't remember. Bulan September nanti kita akan start cover Lord of the Rings setiap hari Rabu. So yes, kita punya scheduling akan penuh balik bermula dengan minggu ini. So don't worry, House of the Dragon tomorrow. Join us.
Yes.
Terus kategori jangan, no spoilers, aku tak tengok lagi. Jennifer Walters secara kasar mengetengahkan sex joke tentang Steve Rogers, seorang virgin. Adakah Marvel nak ketengahkan bahawa Miss America Chavez anak Steve Rogers? Tak ada kaitan tu. Miss America Chavez daripada dimensi lain ya. The Utopian
Tu mamas,
parallel.
Tu mamas.
Jauh.
Yeah.
Jauh.
I think, I mean, about a sex joke, I think this is another way of Marvel trying to do something the opposite end lah, you know. What about the woman say the sex joke lah, you know.
Betul.
I think that's fine. Okay.
Ya. Dan sekarang kita
Dia
tahu
buat
balik,
macam style
Steve Rogers is a
Sex and the
player ya.
City punya style aku rasa. Tu dah dia buat tu semua yang sex jokes tu. Ya.
Kan something for the ladies pula lah.
Alah.
Chris Evans will always be Johnny Storm to me, not Captain America. Okay, move on.
Wow. Alright. Alright, seterusnya Nameless bertanya ya. Jadi siapa-siapa kalau kena darah Hulk boleh jadi Hulk ke? Yes, kalau kau tengok dalam filem Incredible Hulk 2008, Abomination menggunakan darah Hulk untuk menjadi Hulk. Macam yang Abang Feris tunjuk tu, Hulk 2008. Seterusnya, The Leader juga seorang saintis yang kena titisan darah Hulk, dia pun kepala dia jadi besar dan dia jadi gamma ray.
Tapi
So,
kan
dalam MCU it looks like that.
but at the same time betul macam bila kau cakap The Leader dengan Abo tu, it's like tak ada kaitan pun dapat dia punya blood tapi dia boleh bertukar kan. Tapi dalam siri She-Hulk kan dia kata sebab genetic makeup dia pun unik kan. Pasal dia punya family tu unik. So sebab tu the blood gamma radiated blood tu boleh allow depa untuk transform. Tapi macam tak tahulah tentang kebetulan lah Abomination dengan The Leader tu depa share that same genetic oddity ke apa kan.
Yeah, I think so. So cara Banner cakap tu nak cakap bukan semua orang yang kena darah ni akan jadi macam tu. So dalam MCU baru ada 4 orang lah. Abomination, The Leader, Bruce Banner dan juga Jennifer Walters. Yang
Tapi
semua
So does this tease that they are mutants Mutants.
Aduh, semua benda jadi mutant juga.
Aku
Ini
rasa aku
the
macam terbayang
mutation.
bila mereka kata macam gitu.
No.
Macam mutants.
Mutants, untuk terma mutants dalam Marvel Comics is you are born with it. So Spider-Man is not a mutant, the Hulk is not a mutant because they were not born with it.
So they cannot be, but even if they say they have the genetic thing with that they can accept these things, they still cannot be mutants.
Macam that genetic oddity is not the X gene lah, senang cerita. Dia kalau macam
they're not X gene lah.
Macam okay, kalau X gene you were born with an X gene, mana kau akan jadi dapat power sebab jadi mutant lah. Tapi yang dalam MCU punya law ni lah, so to speak kan, kalau ikut apa Banner cakap, they were born macam it's a genetic oddity yang memang ada je banyak cases in the real world, macam adalah setengah orang dia macam ada anomaly sikit dalam DNA dia ke apa ke, but doesn't mean dia ada powers lah. It's just that ada some slight ralat lah, variation from the general public punya DNA makeup ke apa kan, tapi macam dia tak manifest powers because it's not an X gene, it's not macam inhuman. Tapi this particular oddity ni kalau kena dengan gamma radiation, will allow them to macam bertukar jadi Hulks tapi macam tak implode ke, tak dissolve diri sendiri ke apalah. Sebab orang lain, most of the people kau kena blast or gamma radiation, dia mati terus. But not these guys with this genetic oddity lah. But that oddity is not an X gene.
Okay, that clarifies a lot. But they need to show example of people who die from the gamma radiation.
I agree. Tak, masa dia orang buat Abomination, dia patut tunjuk macam ada soldier lain pun try suntik tu and then they just melted ke apa, tak tahu.
Dia ada cakap kot yang kau ni adalah spesimen ke-15 ke something.
Dia cakap dia komen tu lah.
Tapi mereka mention dia kan, mereka tak tunjuk kan?
Dia tak tunjuk lah. Tapi
itulah yang buat orang macam sangsi
yalah.
sangat. Kadang-kadang we all confused, right? Because orang kata seeing is believing, what?
tapi apa, dia tak ada inconsistency lah at the end of the day. Dia tak tunjuk that scene tu, tapi the law has been okay lah, rather consistent lah, continuity.
Dia nak save budget.
Which bring us to the next question yang Naoki bertanya, Abomination ada alter ego tak? Tak ada. Dia just alter ego ni ialah bila kau pakai topeng, lepas tu kau nak hide your identity. So bila kau dah terang-terang tunjuk saya lah Jennifer Walters, saya lah seorang lawyer, ataupun saya lah askar dan saya lah Abomination. Memang dia orang tak pakai mask kan, so dia orang tak ada alter ego. Leader jadi kepala besar ke sebab darah Abu atau darah Hulk. Aku tak ingat, the film was from 2008, 14 tahun lepas.
That time the scene dia dalam lab tu, lepas dia dah tolong Edward Norton, lepas tu dia jatuh atas lantai, lepas tu tiup datang, lepas tu menitik kat kepala.
Menitik
So it was Edward Norton's blood? It was the Hulk punya blood?
It was the Hulk punya blood lah, because dia ada shot, I mean the drip was
untuk transfuse
Okay.
Betul.
So itu memang the Hulk punya darah, bukan Abu. So aku harap Abomination akan ada dalam siri ni. I think it will be super cool. Call back to 2008 kalau Mamat tu ada. Seterusnya, Taichu Division 5 bertanya, ada news bila Thor Love and Thunder akan keluar Disney Plus Hotstar? Tak sure, tapi di Disney Plus Amerika akan keluar 8 hari bulan September. Hopefully it will be in September juga untuk kita di Malaysia, especially mereka yang tak tengok si Camry atau pergi ke Singapura, macam tu lah. So,
yang belum tengok lagi turun 11 aku.
Ya, itulah. Seterusnya, ini soalan menarik daripada Rizwan Mustafa. Pada pendapat korang, adakah watak lawyer daripada siri Marvel Netflix, Jerry Hogarth, bakal membuatkan cameo? I did not see it in the first 4 episodes yang aku dah tonton. Maybe the next 5, I don't know. It's quite interesting. Pasal dia adalah seorang lawyer daripada Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
So maybe
Jessica Jones.
Tapi tak tahu since apa? Tapi dia daripada Jessica Jones ke Iron Fist? Where did she came
Jessica
first?
Jones dulu, lepas tu Iron Fist.
Initially Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones dulu.
So Jessica Jones should appear in She-Hulk lah by right, kalau dia dapat lah. It's like she's dia kan kawan She-Hulk kan dalam komik. Not her best friend lah. Well, Jessica Drew is Jessica Jones my best friend lah. Tapi yang who knows, maybe they can make some sort of new best friend kot.
Tapi actress Kristen Ritter tu macam tak tahu, macam rasa ada interview baru ni. Tak tahu lah if she's being coy ke dia macam cast doubt yang dia akan return untuk MCU punya version of Jessica Jones. Dia macam dia not really encouraging lah apa yang dia cakap tu. Tapi maybe tak tahulah, Feige punya sniper kan. Maybe dia pun just playing coy ke apa, tak tahulah.
If Charlie Cox can keep quiet and we didn't know, I think Kristen Ritter can.
Betul juga. Sedangkan Tatiana Maslany dulu pun deny juga, cakap I'm not She-Hulk dia kata kan. Tatiana Maslany I remember. Dia selalu deny last
semua takut sniper.
I think more characters for the Netflix series will come to MCU. I mean, in the trailer dia dah tease lah, Daredevil is there, Jerry Hogarth to be there lah, but
Jerry Hogarth, Foggy pun.
By right, yeah.
Akan bagi story out. Dia bagi macam ada restaurant kan.
Kan. Or maybe they will appear in Daredevil Born Again. Dah lah tu Daredevil Born Again ada 18 episod kan. So that what if not here maybe there. Kata kan.
Semua dalam kepala otak Kevin lagi.
Seterusnya Zairul Nazim bertanya, Grandmaster bukan nak kena bunuh dengan gore ke? Macam dalam filem Thor Love and Thunder, deleted scene. Macam mana boleh ada kapal Grandmaster? Aku rasa semuanya bakal terjawab ketika filem World War Hulk tahun 2023 nanti. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's gonna be interesting macam dia nak explain semua ni. Because Grandmaster memang dah mati pun. So yeah. Jadi aku tak tahu. Jadi dia tak jawab.
Aku tak nampak pun dia kena
it was a deleted scene.
I see.
So it's not in the movie. Kalau korang tengok.
But they say the deleted scenes are not canon kan?
Yeah.
They were
I
deleted.
heard, tapi tak tahu Taika yang kata macam gitu. Aku pun tak tahu betul ke tak.
We don't watch
Seterusnya,
movies for the scenes.
ini soalan filosofikal ya. Patut tak saja adakah air itu basah? It's like I don't know. Apa pendapat panelis? Patutkah Yasir menonton sini?
I will give a funny answer.
Kalau aku akan kata terpulanglah pada selera masing-masing.
Kalau MCU fan then tonton lah. Tapi kalau kau jenis tak apa suka sangat chick flicks and female empowerment, maybe or really sensitive about that ke, then maybe this is not for you. Tapi itulah dia tu very light-hearted chick flick comedy kind of thing lah. Kalau benda tu is not for you then tak payah tengok. Tapi kalau kau nak tahu on the grander scale of macam kau tak pernah miss any MCU punya content, then soldier through it lah.
Alright. Feris?
Janganlah tengok. Janganlah tengok apa-apa MCU. Janganlah tengok DCU ke apa. Pergilah baca komik-komik dari Alan Moore ke, Dark Horse ni. Itu dah mendalam lagi violent lagi. MCU.
Tengok je lah The Boys. Tengoklah The Boys, tengoklah The Sandman. Benda
I tokong.
Ini tak ada makna pun guys.
Mana MCU di sini? Bosan. Every day.
Kan kalau aku rasa terpulanglah pada selera masing-masing lah. So kalau you rasa macam best, aku rasa boleh je layan. Orang kata kan, belum try belum tahu kan. So kalau first try dah, apa belakang dia? Ataupun kita boleh tukar subtitle cerita ni, Lawyer Ku Ijo.
Betul.
Disney Plus Hotstar, Lawyer Ku Ijo.
Oh my god. Alright, seterusnya masih menyambung ya. Panelis dah tengok ke Pengabdi Setan? Aku tak, aku kaki penakut, so aku tak tengok lagi.
Sama.
Ya, banyak di sini kaki penakut, kita orang tak tengok lagi.
Betul. Aku ada prinsip jangan tengok cerita hantu dekat wayang. Itu prinsip aku.
Memang mengejutkan ke? Aku tak tahu.
Aku tak suka lah bunyi-bunyi kuat ni. Tak suka.
Ha? Ya.
Hate it.
I love it. Aku rasa macam masuk cerita apa ni, rumah hantu pula, haunted house. Cakap fanfare.
Tapi don't worry, Hadi dah tolong cover untuk kita orang. Aku rasa dia ada sesi live stream hari Sabtu lepas selama sejam. Dia membincangkan dengan kaki-kaki seram, iaitu Hasib daripada Rekaman Filem dan juga Faris Izzuan daripada Kaki Movie. So yes, korang patut tonton dia orang punya breakdown of Pengabdi Setan 2. I think it was pretty cool. Yang tu pun aku tak berani tengok, pasal aku takut. Alright, seterusnya Taiju Division 5 bertanya, tak nak bedah segmen ke? Aku rasa it's a good show. It's a good show.
Boleh, but banyak nak cakap.
I nak join kalau ada.
Tengoklah,
so aku dah baca habis dah.
Kalau cukup panelis, maybe aku akan carilah. Tapi tak suka elemen LGBTQ dia kuat gila babi.
Dia cerita dia memang work dari dulu lagi dah. Dia macam dalam komik dia memang macam tu. Cuma macam I think people would try to lean more towards the story lah. Kalau macam elemen work tu, kalau you tak terganggu dengan benda tu, aku rasa okay je. But the work thing is already there since 1980s what. Neil Gaiman dah create watak-watak tu.
Is extra work bro.
Betul.
It was already work
dia nak modernize.
But you didn't need to make it super woke for 2020.
Super woke for nowadays because the audience for today is like that. Well, not all the audience stuff, but the ones that they Hollywood things stuff.
So kalau korang tak kisah tentang Geng Abjad, you guys should definitely watch Netflix The Sandman. Very very good series. Cuma agenda Geng Abjad tu terlalu ketara sampai aku pun malas ketara. Tapi aku still bagi dia lah, 8/10 lah. It's still good. It's just that aku malas nak cover pasal Geng Abjad ni.
Kalau korang ada HBO ko, tontonlah Westworld.
Tempat lagi promote Westworld.
Okay.
Harap-harap lah Westworld ada season 5 lah. Aku pun harap juga ada season 5.
Okay, seterusnya Rizwan Mustafa bertanya, kalau Hulkling tu kena darah ke macam mana? Tidak, Hulkling tu sebenarnya adalah seorang putera daripada Skrull dan juga Kree. Dia adalah seorang shapeshifter dan sebagai branding masa mula-mula yang Avengers bermula, dia mengatakan dia adalah Hulkling.
Dan dia pun abjad ke?
Dia warna hijau.
Dia bukan anak Bruce Banner, dia adalah geng abjad dan dia suka anak Scarlet Witch yang lelaki itu Billy.
Yeah, Wiccan.
Alright. Seterusnya.
Dah mereka dah kahwin dah.
Ya, macam itulah. Film Spider-Man No Way Home versi extended edition, betul ke nak keluar? Yes, it should be coming out in our cinemas. Aku tak ingat bulan 10, something like that.
September kot, 8 hari bulan
Ya, should be September lah.
Aku baca macam September, 8 hari bulan.
Tapi kalau scene extra dia sebodoh macam Smart Hulk dalam Avengers Endgame ke Infinity War
CGI tak siap.
CGI
Ya
tak
mungkin
siap,
kan.
aku tak nak pergi tengok Yang tu memang sengaja nak
Dia
ambil
kata cuma 11 minit je, 11 minit dia punya additional scenes. Tak tahu apa dia.
YouTube lah. Aku tunggu ada orang buat cam rig kat YouTube aku lagi release. Alright, seterusnya Fadiro Rosli bertanya, jalan cerita She-Hulk ni konsepnya breaking the fourth wall ke? Yes, She-Hulk merupakan watak Marvel Comics pertama yang broke the fourth wall sejak tahun 1980-an lagi apabila ia diterbitkan. Deadpool hanya came later back in 1992 ataupun masa Rob Liefeld mula-mula tulis Deadpool, he did not break the fourth wall. It was only later in the 2000s, 2005, 2008 whenever another writer took over. Baru I think it was Jeff Loeb, baru dia mula break the fourth wall. So it only came later. Seterusnya, adakah World War Hulk akan menjadi filem atau siri? Most likely it will be a filem dalam MCU Phase 6. Andor bila mula siarannya? Sepatutnya 31 hari bulan Ogos tapi telah ditolak ke 21 hari bulan September. Aku dah tengok 4 episod pertama.
Wow.
It's not a Star Wars series at all. Kau tak ada cerita.
I knew it. Dah tengok. Daripada trailer dah nampak dah.
Tapi aku nantikan episod 5, 6, 7, 8. So kalau by episod 6 dia still suck balls, aku rasa kita orang tak cover. Alright. Soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini. Kenapa She-Hulk tak hilang kewarasan ketika jadi Hulk untuk pertama kalinya? I think jawapannya was at the early part of this segment, di mana dia seorang wanita. Hari-hari dia kena microaggression oleh pihak lelaki. Jadi apalah jadi She-Hulk ni. Jadi She-Hulk ni macam jadi wanita je. Itulah yang dia nak cuba ketengahkan. Seterusnya, apakah the fourth wall? Tolong explain Abang Feris, apakah itu the fourth wall?
Dalam satu pementasan atau a show, there is always a barrier, invisible barrier di mana korang tak exist, penonton tak exist langsung. So I sebagai pelakon on stage, kita akan berlakonlah scene kita, whatever the scene is. Tapi bila kita berlakon, ada dinding, invisible dinding yang audience tak exist. It means we are in our own world. The moment I sedar yang ada orang tengah menonton, that's breaking the fourth wall. Faham? Every time an actor is on stage, they always create that invisible wall di mana I cannot see you, I'm in my own world. It applies to film, it applies to television, it applies to pementasan stage. But it started with pementasan lah, stage theater. So the moment bila actor ke siapa-siapa talks to everyone or makes a reference, it means the wall is broken. There's a fourth wall.
Dia kalau aku nak tambah to that lah, jadi more of a kalau architectural punya explanation dia pula kata fourth wall tu kan. Kita in a 3D space bila cakap saya planes dalam existence tu, kita ada satu lantai bawah kita dengan satu ceiling atas kita. Keliling kita mesti ada 4 dinding. 1, 2, 3 kiri kanan. Dinding keempat tu yang pisahkan aku dengan kau through the screen tu. So bila dia kata dinding keempat tu kau pecahkan, breaking the fourth wall tu, and dia connect dengan the audience macam in a literal sense tu lah. So 1 belakang, 2, 3 kiri kanan, dinding keempat tu dipecahkan. So connect kan. The screen tu dah tak jadi barrier dah. Or bila di theater tu, the disbelief tu dah tak jadi barrier dah. I know the audience exists and I know the audience know the performers exist and dia boleh interact. Macam tu lah dinding keempat.
Macam memecahkan reality lah. Memecahkan reality.
Actually,
Suka dia bercakap dengan kamu lah, breaking the fourth wall.
The audience
Dia
know
kata
you are there, but the actors don't know you exist. So, itulah, it's only when the actor breaks the wall lah, macam boleh cakap.
Okay. Alright guys, so dengan itu
kalau korang nak tahu movie yang paling best yang break the fourth wall is tahun 1987, Feris Bueller's Day Off.
Feris Bueller.
My namesake lah. Feris Bueller's Day Off. The whole
Betul
movie.
juga.
Sikit pun, sikit break.
Rizwan menambah ya, breaking the fourth wall tu bukan ke seorang tu berborak seorang-seorang dengan diri sendiri. I don't think so. It's actually addressing the audience, right?
It's
Yes.
addressing the audience.
Yeah. Dia bukan meracau seorang-seorang macam orang gila, tak. Dia literally talking to the reader or talking to the audience. Ya, itulah. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke plot menarik kita yang ketiga. Alright, jadi plot menarik kita yang ketiga berjudul CAMEO, Titania in Court. Jadi untuk segmen ni aku ada satu soalan je untuk semua panelis. Apakah pendapat anda tentang pilihan Jennifer Walters untuk tidak menjadi seorang superhero straight away? Macam dia cakap dekat Bruce, I don't want to be a superhero. Aku tak nak pun. I just want to live my life. Tapi she tried to live a normal lawyer life right up to the point yang Titania mengacau her court proceedings. Sampai dia punya penolong tu, dia punya legal punya advisor, Nikki cakap, this is the time. Lepas tu tolong pegang kasut lagi. That was pretty cute. So, apakah pendapat korang that, you know, dia macam refusal to the call to adventure. This is a classic Act 1 punya thing lah. So, silakan punya.
Well, aku rasa to a certain extent kau tak boleh blame dia jugalah pasal dia tak nak sahut the call untuk jadi an Avenger. Bukan Avenger tapi untuk jadi a Hulk lah. Sebab I think to a certain extent kau boleh blame Bruce because of that lah. So dia tengok Bruce, dia ni tak ada kawan-kawan semua dah mati, duduk isolated at some pulau, doesn't have a job, no relationships. And then Bruce sendiri pun duk cakap, wah kalau jadi Hulk, wah ni responsibility ni lah, benda lah, kau dah tak boleh return to normal life. Kalau aku pun macam macam tak best. Yeah, so yang the fact and the reluctant tu macam faham lah juga. Macam kalau macam other, okay, aku actually dalam other macam superhero punya shows, aku macam tak suspend sangat disbelief tu lah pasal the power best ni and seemingly tak ada drawbacks kan. Semua macam tak nak macam ni bullshit lah kau. Anyone would have just like embrace that kan. Tapi dalam series She-Hulk dia make sense pasal Bruce lah. Dia nak cakap benda yang tak best datang with the powers kan. Dah lah tengok kau terbunuh ni, kau terbunuh tu lah apa semua. People you love di mampus lah apa kan. So memanglah dia tak nak kan. So that whole thing macam it's more believable lah to me. Dan banyak-banyak superhero punya shows, kenapa the superhero tak nak embrace dia punya fantastic gifts ni. Aku rasa ni quite realistic. Sebab dia ada case study je, dia tengok cousin tu. So itulah tengoklah tangan pun dah hancur, kawan-kawan pun dah mati. Weh tak best. So macam tak tahu, bagi aku memang make sense lah. That's my take on it.
I'm trying to think. I mean, since 2008 MCU started, semua superhero full time lah. Tak ada day job. Ada tak?
Siapa yang tak ada day job?
Spider-Man is still a student. Spider-Man still pergi
Spider-Man
sekolah.
student.
Bila Bruce Banner Edward Norton version, when he doesn't work at the lab or something, no, you know, so he just from town to town or so of all the superheroes since 2008, ada siapa ada day job kecuali Tony Stark lah. But then he made himself public really.
Itulah.
So he's a full-time superhero. So I think what we're gonna see from Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk, she's a reluctant superhero is one thing, part-time superhero. Yeah. So only when required to.
Oh,
So
Doctor Strange. Dia dah tak boleh jadi doktor kan? Tangan dia dah hancur kan?
Tak tahu.
Pun tak boleh kan?
Kau let's think. Antara siapa yang ada day job?
Siapa yang ada pekerjaan ni?
Siapa yang aku waiter kat restoran tu.
Hawkeye kot sebab dia dah retire.
Hawkeye when he's not avenging, he goes back to his family farm or his family home. He just sits in the house, you know, do
That's
whatever.
not a job kan?
It's not a job, you know.
Work from home.
Kalau ada lah. So I rasa the fact that dia lambat tukar, you know, she was reluctant to change is, I have a day job. Superhero is secondary. So I think that's going to be the whole tema for She-Hulk lah. Which is nice lah.
Betul, boleh jadi juga.
Continue.
Betul. Jangan jadi
I also agree juga. Bagi saya, aku rasa because she did mention that she just started her lawyer job. Dia baru dapat office baru. Lepas tu kan dia ada baju uniform baru. So bagi dia, she just started to become a lawyer. Entah-entah dia tiba-tiba jadi Hulk. So that's why she was like, no, this cannot happen to me. So that's why she was so reluctant in the first place. And also I understand that macam Munif kata lah, dia dah nampak Bruce punya life so bad and all that, and then like Feris pun kata tadi kan, like you know, she is a reluctant hero, but slowly she will find her groove lah. Kita ada 9 episod, so maybe along the journey when she has met through so many of the superheroes, super villains, and then maybe she is involving in herself in crime fighting. Maybe she will eventually get to understand lah. Dah lah dia akan jumpa dengan Daredevil kan. So maybe Matt Murdock will teach her a thing or two, becoming lawyer by day and then superhero by night kan. So maybe she'll learn a thing or two lah from there. Maybe, you know, that's how she'll get her groove lah from there. But I feel like her reluctance comes from the fact that dia baru started dah jadi lawyer. Dah lah dia kata suit dia, I don't want to ruin my suit, but terpaksa ruin dia suit sebab dia nak lawan Titania kan. Titania pun muncul secara tiba-tiba, like out of nowhere, and then like dah dia terpaksa sucker punch Titania lah sebab Titania buat kacau kan.
Aku salahkan Banner tau, pasal Banner ajar dia pakai spandex. Like even when she hulk out, right? You can see the spandex. I'm like, babi lah Banner, kau ajak dia pakai spandex.
Sebab Disney Plus Disney requirement terpaksa lah spandex. Maka dia kata your best friend is not Nikki but spandex. Spandex. Kalau tak nanti jadi macam meme Wanda tu. Kenapa Hulk boleh boleh koyak baju tapi She-Hulk tak boleh koyak baju? That doesn't seem fair.
Betul lah. Nampaknya Jennifer Walters is always wearing spandex. Always.
Ya. Dah lah dia punya suit dah tak macam dulu. Dulu kan macam bikini kan. Sekarang dah you know, very trunks like. Yeah. Updated.
Alright, so
Spandex.
Feris lah.
Dia cosplay jadi Hulk.
Koyak dengan spandex. For comedy, absolutely.
Dedikasi. Alright. So, kita ada 5 soalan menarik ya. Pertama, Fadiro Rosli bertanya, alat yang Bruce Banner cipta untuk jadi manusia tu teknologi Stark ke? Tak, pasal episod ni adalah selepas Avengers Endgame. Tony Stark dah mati. So Bruce Banner buat ni
He could have used it. He has connection. So I mean, it seems that every technology in MCU has to come from Stark, so he could have borrowed something, but you don't need to explain.
Yeah, but I still think this was done after Tony Stark mati, because this episode is like a few years after Tony Stark mati, so he synthesized a gamma suppressor for himself. Itulah. Seterusnya, Raziman bertanya ya, One Piece rate tak masuk Malaysia ke? Aku rasa dah masuk ke? Sampai tiket RM120 pun dah sold out. So yes, akan masuk Malaysia bro. Don't worry, orang Malaysia ni RM120 pun akan tengok juga. Gila babi tu. Seterusnya, betul ke John Krasinski takkan jadi Mr. Fantastic dalam movie Fantastic Four nanti? Maybe. Abang Faiji akan beritahu kita lagi bulan September nanti, apabila kita ada D24 Expo 9 hingga 11 September, I think in 2 weeks time. So sama-sama kita nantikan pengumuman cast Fantastic Four.
He doesn't look the part lah. When I saw Doctor Strange too, he doesn't look the part lah. You know, it was a fan thing lah. You know, because to me,
fan casting.
To me, Fantastic Four, I have a soft spot because it's the first ever comic I bought. So I was more excited in seeing Reed Richards than I'm more excited seeing John Krasinski as Reed Richards. They could have put any other actor, fine, you know, as long as he's a good actor lah, you know.
Betul.
But bagi aku Krasinski, lah.
Most likely he'll be the director for Fantastic Four kot. Sebab dia kan dah lebih kepada jadi director punya style kan dia dah macam dah ceburi jadi director A Quiet Place 1 and 2. So maybe he'll be the director for Fantastic Four. Who knows?
If he will be
John
director,
Krasinski.
he should be acting in it lah. He should be acting.
Ya kan? Acting and directing. Banyak kerja tu, banyak heavy load work lah.
Quiet Place, he did it lah. So, seterusnya, Daus bertanya soalan filosofikal, perempuan yang jadi Hulk ni pelakon watak utama yang sama ke?
What?
Is it
Tatiana
still
Maslany?
yang buat mocap tu kot.
What?
Dia CGI dia CGI. Tapi berdasarkan muka Tatiana Maslany.
Tapi aku faham lah this question. Pasal apa? Sebab memang nampak lain lah. Sebab rambut dia pun jadi lain lah semua kan. So kalau macam Mark Ruffalo jadi Hulk, still nampak macam Mark Ruffalo.
Ya, so Mark Ruffalo dia pakai motion capture. Yang She-Hulk ni kan dia pakai stunt woman tau, setahu saya. Dia ada seorang stunt woman yang tinggi 7 feet tall macam tu.
Adam kaki 7. Adam kaki 7.
Yeah, but was it motion capture or was it also face capture?
No, you can replace, you can put the face on the stunt woman's face lah.
So
I suspect it's face capture sebab dia pakai stunt woman. Kalau motion capture yang Bruce Banner ni, Mark Ruffalo dia pakai semua tu kan macam bintik-bintik dengan suit grey tu dengan ni.
Mark Ruffalo has macam the tennis ball on top, so that the eyeline dia agak keras satu. Tapi he has a ranker that extends his shoulder. So when the CGI artist lukis, so they have a size comparison. And then the bintik-bintik dekat muka is bila buat expression macam ada tu, dia akan copy dalam komputer.
Okay. Alright, soalan terakhir untuk segmen ini adalah daripada kategori The Great yang bertanya, Titania ni adalah arch nemesis She-Hulk ke? Yes, dia adalah arch nemesis She-Hulk. Selain Titania, siapakah lagi nemesis She-Hulk? So dari shalky.fandom.com/wiki/villains, dia ada 4 villain utama iaitu Behemoth yang originally known as Man Elephant daripada Savage She-Hulk nombor 17 Jun 1981, kemudian Titania daripada Secret Wars 3 1984, kemudian Nick Truss daripada Savage She-Hulk nombor 2, ni adalah crime boss yang cuba
yang crime lord
Seterusnya Ultima Wordman daripada Savage She-Hulk nombor 9. So 4 watak ni adalah dia punya main villains. Kemudian dia ada lebih kurang 20-30 lagi villains over the past.
Ada Red She-Hulk pun dia boleh consider jugalah.
Macam nemesis dia juga.
Great siap.
Yeah. So dia ada banyak villains, don't worry. Tapi aku rasa dalam siri ni so far aku baru nampak Titania the first 4 episodes. I'm not sure whether yang lain semua akan ada juga ke tidak. Yang Nick tu for sure kita takkan nampak lah pasal kita dah tak ada storyline tentang dia punya crime.
Yang wrecking crew tu ada kan dalam cerita ni?
Looks like
maybe
it
kita akan nampak lagi.
from the trailer, so tak tahulah.
Ya, macam ada orang-orang yang main dengan benda macam atau bola yang mistik-mistik lah dengan benda-benda tu.
Dia macam subplot yang hanya akan diterokai beyond episode 4. So aku macam nak jawab. Macam tu lah. Alright guys, so dengan itu berakhirlah segmen ini dan kita akan ke harapan kami bagi episod minggu depan. Sorry, episod minggu ini pasal kita buat 1 minggu lepas. Alright guys, so apakah harapan anda untuk She-Hulk season 1 episode 2 yang bakal hadir hari Rabu ini? Kita mulakan dengan Munif, silakan Munif.
Okay, macam cakap lah, aku faham that this is macam kata lah who the target audience is lah. It's a chick flick, it's a comedy apa semua kan. Tapi kalau tanya aku punya harapan jugalah, aku harap dia macam mana, tak tahulah, bagi aku tak kisahlah movie tu genre apa pun, tapi a good protagonist is always important for us to give a damn about the protagonist lah. Bila again aku cakap, I stand by what I said lah daripada awal-awal, kata aku still 50-50 regarding this show. Aku tahulah most of it is pasal the weight of aku punya expectation jugalah, tapi macam benda macam ni lah, we know Titania macam dia punya arch nemesis and she got felled in one punch kan. So that's not something aku enjoy obviously. So aku suka all this macam big fight kan. Kalau dia pun macam at least macam prolong lah the fight sikit kan. Ini arch nemesis dia kan. So aku punya hope is that maybe as we progress dia akan adalah menace dia tu kan lebih sikit, macam give us something to, bukanlah kata macam dark kan, tapi something to be concerned about lah, ada protagonist sikit kan, despite this being macam a light-hearted show kan. So kalau aku punya harapan tu, macam kita dah establish, okay, dia boleh buat everything Banner boleh buat kan, tapi ada tak apa-apa yang could macam put her on a spot lah, so to speak kan, or maybe test dia punya ability sikit kan. And aku harap that person is Titania lah, being dia punya arch nemesis kan. So kalau aku punya harapan tu is that okay, they have a lot of thought process lah and care bila handling She-Hulk ni. Aku have no doubt she's the main character. It's a feminist show, it's a chick flick. Aku rasa dia akan set up Jennifer Walters really nicely lah. So kalau tanya harapan aku, I hope they do justice to whoever the antagonist is lah, and I hope antagonist tu is Titania lah. So do her right, do her justice, even if cerita ni light-hearted and macam komedi ke pun, I want that lah for me personally. Tu aku nak bagilah antagonist tu best and I think I akan really like the series kalau dia do the antagonist justice. Tu aku punya hope. Sebab protagonis tu mesti best, kita dah tahu lah. Yeah.
Okay. Seterusnya silakan Justin.
Speaking of justice kan, kebetulan dia pun lawyer juga kan, so I hope that they will do a justice lah. Okay, harapan aku untuk episod kedua, aku tahu sebab masih awal lagi, so kemungkinan besar kita mungkin tak nampak sangat development lah, mungkin ada filler ke atau apa ke dalam episod 2 kan. So I just hope that even though they make it kalau cerita ni, kalau episod kedua tu banyak lawak, aku harap lawak dia bertempat lah, sebab tak mau dia punya lawak terlalu bodoh. Like if it's too funny but too stupid kan, macam susah orang nak enjoy. So harap dia punya momentum tak stop daripada episod 1, sebab episod 1 punya the momentum in the first episode is quite good. So I don't want everything to fall flat lah in episode 2. Nanti orang macam lost interest tiba-tiba kan. So macam susah lah nak pick up. But I feel like this show has potential. It has something to say about career women in modern day, and then like I mean, like, it's not appealing to everyone, but it's actually that they're trying to tell a story about She-Hulk, right? Then the person Jennifer Walters, how she managed to become She-Hulk, how she managed in today's society, how she become a lawyer, and also at the same time slowly become a superhero. We want to see that progress for their character arc. So mungkin kita akan jumpa beberapa cameo daripada watak-watak lain ke. Mungkin, maybe, who knows, we might see Abomination in the second episode. So, you know, maybe we can see something. Slowly they will tease a few MCU connections lah. Tu aku harap lah kita akan nampak ni. Daripada macam langsung tak ada connection dengan previous MCU punya cerita atau apa-apa kan. I hope there's some hints, or at least some sort of glimpses of the previous MCU characters lah. Like Abomination, or maybe certain things, or who knows, maybe because there's so many characters yang kita belum lagi jumpa kan, like Wrecking Crew, and also apa tu yang Frogman kan. Frogman pun tak tahu bila dia keluar. Daredevil aku rasa mungkin belakang lagi kot. So like maybe we'll see hopefully we'll see lah these characters popping up, and then they'll make She-Hulk story interesting lah. Just hope that the humor doesn't become too stupid lah. That's what I hope lah. Hopefully everything becomes good lah.
Okay. Terakhir sekali silakan Feris.
Harapan saya untuk episod 2, I hope I think we still need to be introduced to Jennifer Walters more, you know, sebab in the first episode we see her struggling between her new alter ego, her new Hulk blood. Now in episode 2, I hope maybe we can show the struggles of Jennifer Walters dalam bandar, maybe dalam apartment, you know, and people knowing that she is She-Hulk, you know, that struggles he has to go back and forth. So maybe episode 2 is like part 2, but without telling that it's a part 2, you know. That's all. And I hope no more the scientific stuff lah, yang macam Bruce Smart Hulk explain semua. I think all the scientific explanation that you need to tell the audience tu boleh letak tepi, because if you put that in a comedy series akan rasa off sikit. That's what I hope the future episodes will do that lah. Yeah.
Alright guys, so dengan itu I think that's it for tonight. Memang agak pendek, sampai 2 jam pun. I guess for a first pilot episode tak banyak benda berlaku, so kita nak bincang pun tak banyak benda nak breakdown. So join us tomorrow di mana kita bakal membincangkan tentang episod pertama House of the Dragon. Kemudian hari Khamis nanti kita akan bincangkan 5 trailer terbaru daripada Hollywood. Hari Jumaat hopefully kita akan ada live stream daripada Red Carpet Abang Nur Fadil 3 di KLCC nanti. Kemudian hari Ahad kita bakal membincangkan tentang Overlord Season 4 episod 1 hingga 8. So itu saja untuk malam ini guys. Terima kasih kerana menonton. Majulah fandom untuk negara. Bye guys.
See ya.